Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sean here, and this video is pretty much going to be unscripted, and we're just going to go through just some of the features and some of the highlights of the brand new Avov TVOnline N. And as you can see on the screen, I've got the box in front of me, and it's bearing Avov's new logo. They recently changed it. I think it was late last year that they went ahead and swapped it. And so they came out with this brand new box, Avov TVOnline N, I believe as a replacement to the previous box that they had called Avov TVOnline Nova Edition, the Silver Edition version, which carried, which was able to manage Nova, but at that time it didn't really go anywhere. And from my understanding, this box here, the TVOnline N specifically, is built for their brand new Nova middleware, which we're going to take a look at in a bit as well too. But I guess first things first, we'll just take a look at the box here. And as like I said, they recently changed their logo to this brand new logo. I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but I guess it's Avov's way of saying that they're moving boldly forward and making some well-needed changes. And as you can see here, it says ultra high definition media player, and this is because with this particular box, Avov has decided to go the 4K model. So this is a Android powered iPTV box, and don't get it twisted or mixed up between an actual Android box. This is a true 100% IPTV box, but it's just powered by Android. And as you can see, it says 4K Ultra HD, and it's HDMI powered, and it bears the Nova 2 logo, signifying that this is indeed a box built for Nova 2. Now, one of the things I could actually say about this box is it is quite compact. And it does look better than, in my opinion at least, than the previous box, which was the Silver Edition, which was more for turquoise color. This one has more of a black matte finish, which is to me a lot more cool, a lot more, I guess, futuristic and modern in that sense. And we're going to take a look at what's included in the box. We're going to take a look at the actual set-top box itself. We're going to do a quick review of the remote control, and we're going to take a look at some of the other things on the inside of this box. And once we do that, then we're going to take a look at how it actually plays on television and what it is that you could actually expect as far as apps and functionality once you get the set-top box rolling on your television. All right, so next is we're pretty much going to be opening up the box, and we're going to see what's on the inside. Alright, so this is what it looks like now that the box is opened. As you can see, like I said, it's got that cool matte finish with the Avov black, somewhat reflective logo on the front. I'm going to take a look at that and see what it looks like. Alright, and this is it. This is really all it is. As you can see, it could fit nice and comfortable in my hand. According to the specs, it's probably about 4, maybe 5 inches by 5 inches, which is not bad. And as far as depth and stuff like that, we're probably looking at about 1 inch or so. So let's take a look at this box and take a look at some of the things that you could input inside of it and attach to it. So again, on the front it bears the TVOnline N symbol. And at the top we got the Avov logo with the reflective, like I said, with the reflective logo on it. And take a look at the back. Alright, so we got your standard AV, Ethernet port, HDMI port, 2 USBs, and we got the power cable port there. At the side here, we've got the micro SD. I'm not entirely sure what that smaller... Oh, right. So that smaller port there, I believe, is for an infrared extender. How exactly do they plan on using that? I'm not entirely sure, but that's what that is. I remember reading up some stuff on that. So that's an infrared extender, that small port right there, right beside the micro SD port area there. All right. So that's what the unit itself looks like. All right, so you guys can get a better look at it there. And as we open up this packaging here, comes with AAA batteries for your remote control. You've got your standard HDMI cables. You've also got your power cord here. That's what that looks like. Got your power cord. And the last thing to take out here is the remote control. All right, so let's take a look at what it is that we have here in the box. And this is pretty much, yeah, all what it is that we have in the box here. So we have a set-top box, we've got the HDMI, we've got the batteries, we've got the power cable, and we've got the remote. All right, yeah, so let's take a look at, what Avov has in store with this box when it comes to specs. Now, according to their website, this is a quad-core system. It does have 1 gig RAM, and a nice feature is that it does have, 8 gigs of internal memory, which is cool. Plus, it also has the micro SD slot for you to expand that that memory, so you could add more pictures or videos or music or whatever it is that you want to throw on the unit. It is Wi-Fi ready, which means that it does have the capabilities of connecting to your Wi-Fi, so you don't have to worry about plugging in the Ethernet cable, especially for those individuals that have their internet box somewhere else on the other side of the house. You could pick up great signals through Wi-Fi. Again, it is Android based. Now keep in mind that it is not an Android box, but a true IPTV box. It's just powered by Android. So it's currently running Android 5.1. It is 4K Ultra HD. But of course it also has the capability of running full HD, which is 1080p 60 frames per second. So if you have a 4K television or a full HD TV, this unit is more than capable of outputting in those at those qualities as well too. So it's got some pretty cool features in itself. So first let's take a look at the remote and what it is that it has to offer and my thoughts on it. And in my personal opinion, I don't feel as if this remote control is as good as one of Avov's previous control. You could notice as well too, this is Avov's older logo, which I prefer over their newer logo. But again, that's just my opinion. It has no effect whatsoever on how the system operates and functions. But yeah, let's take a look at this remote. So we got the power button. We've got the swap to mouse, where essentially you could use your remote control as a mouse by using the directional pad and moving the pointer around your screen. We've got the digital number pad. This aspect button, I'm not entirely sure if that ever really worked with the Avov box, and I'm assuming that this really was supposed to affect the aspect ratio of how the video appears on your screen. The video on demand, of course, if you have IPTV services, you could click on that, then it bounces directly to your video on demand services with the older unit, as well as if you have IPTV service, you could just click on IPTV, then it bounces over to those services there. You've got your guide feature. I know with the new TVOnline N, they've got a pretty cool guide feature, which I'm not certain if that's fully complete yet, but they do have that TV guide feature. The info button, you've got the return button, you've also got the list button, and of course your basic directional pad here with the play and pause button, and we'll talk about that in a second. You've got your volume controls here, and you've got some alternate controls here. You got the history button, the favorites button, the recall button, and the home button. This bounces you back from bounces you out of any screen that it is that you're on, all the way right back to the home screen. Now, one of the main things that it is that I noticed here is that it doesn't have a dedicated media control buttons area. And the way how it is that Avov compensated for that for this particular remote is just by using the basic directional pad. For example, when you go into your video on demand movies, you fast forward with the right directional pad, and you rewind with the left directional pad, and of course the middle button is for both play and pause and OK, so it's multifunctional there. And for some users that may be a little bit confusing, and I know the first time that I opened up this box and didn't see those media control buttons, I definitely got a little bit confused and figured out how it is, to try to figure out how it is to control my my video on the screen. And then afterwards, of course, I figured, hey, you use the back button and forward button to rewind and fast forward, and the play and pause button in the center there. So I know for some individuals it may get a little bit confusing. Now, the remote control that I do prefer, and if you guys do get this box and you guys are okay with the remote, that's totally fine. But for other individuals that want just a little bit more flexibility, you guys could also purchase this older version, which I think is a lot more complete as far as feature sets. From top to bottom, we've got several different things here that is just, in my opinion, a lot better as far as functions and features than the new model that it has. As you can see down here, it actually has the dedicated media buttons, which, you know, for most individuals it's not confusing. You know, you get it right away. But at the same time, it has many of the same features as a new remote control. You've got your menu, you've got your exit or return, you've got your OK button there in the middle, you've got your guide, and you got your info, and of course you have your basic directional pad, your volume controls and channel controls here. In my opinion as well too, it's just a whole lot better laid out on this remote control because it's very clear. There's no second guessing as to what each button is, as opposed to, let's say, the new button. There really is no channel up or down. You'd have to use your directional pad here in order to make that happen once you're in your IPTV space. So again, in my opinion, not too much of a big fan of the new remote. I'm much more a fan of the older remote control. And again, you could probably pick this up for $10 somewhere online if you search Avov TVOnline. I think this came out for the TVOnline Plus, I think it was. So if you're looking for an alternate to this new remote control, then you guys could definitely go ahead and take a look at that. But that's enough for the remote control right now. Again, you got your basic power cables, HDMI, got your AAA batteries. Now I already have the system set up and playing right now, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over to that so we can take a look at what this box looks like active. Alright, so this is my unit set up here. As you can see, the power lights are on, the blue and the green. Not sure how that translates in the camera, but you can see those lights on there signifying that the unit is turned on. And I've got the power cable plugged in. I've got also an ear mouse, so I've got that attachment here, that wireless attachment. We're not going to talk about the ear mouse, but it's a cool feature for you guys who you know, don't like to use the directional pad to select your letters when you're typing through the system. So you could just get a pretty cool ear mouse with a keyboard on it and use that. That's what I use it for. So you got your power cable, and we got the HDMI cable plugged in at the back there. That's what the unit looks like. For this demonstration, I'm pretty much going to be using Avov's older remote control, and again, that's just preference. I've had Avov's before, and I find that this is probably the best remote control that it is that they came out with so far. It's responsive. It has all the features that it is that I'd come to expect from a media remote control, and yeah, so that's what it is that we're going to be using for this this demonstration. All right, so when you first load up your Avov TVOnline N, you're going to come to this screen here, and as you can notice, it's a brand new layout. This represents what it is that Avov is really wanting to do with their Nova 2 system. So it's a little bit more modern, a little bit more futuristic, and in my opinion, it's really simple. There's no real second guessing with any of this stuff. So I'm scrolling through some of the options right now, heading over to settings so you guys can see what's available with this box. For those individuals who are familiar with IPTV, you could set up those server URLs there under server settings. Now again, this particular system, Avov TVOnline N, is running Avov's new middleware called Nova middleware, Nova 2 actually, to be more specific. So only servers that are compatible with Nova 2 would be able to run directly through this setting system. So we got your Wi-Fi options, your language options, you got your display options as well too, where you could go ahead and set your screen mode, resolution, and things like that. Miracast to I guess cast from multiple different devices. System info, Ethernet settings, time zone, AirPlay, parental controls, of course, Wi-Fi hotspot. That's another cool thing about this this unit as well too, is that you could actually use it as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And of course, you've got your audio settings. So those are just some of the basic settings that it is that you get with this system. All right, so from the settings, we're just gonna take a look at the apps that this box has. Wait for it to load. All right, so here we go. Now, to keep in mind, this is not like the regular app store. This is actually something that comes built in with the Avov TVOnline N. So the only apps that you have access to are the ones that are available here in this app section. So it's not like the app store where you could go in and basically download unlimited amount of apps. You've just got, you're basically restricted to whatever it is that this box has available in its apps section. But as far as movie apps though, it has, you know, a few things that I think is worth talking about, and one of them is Crackle, which is a free movie app. You can get that on your computer, or you could download that on your tablet or your phone, and in this case you could get it on this box as well too. You've got Hulu, you've got of course, this is one of the biggest apps that they recently added was Netflix. I don't know why it took them so long, but they actually have Netflix on this box. I think before they had it on their Vixio Fuse as well too, but they didn't really have it up for their other boxes. So I'm glad that they actually chose to introduce it here on the Avov TVOnline N, because I know a lot of users were requesting Netflix. And of course they have Kodi, and they got the typical stuff like Dailymotion and YouTube available. But one of the cool things that I want to show you guys though is this app here, TeamViewer. And I think this is just a step forward for Avov to really take up the customer service when it comes to their set-top boxes. So for example, if you do sell these boxes, or if you're an IPTV provider, you could basically have your customer give you access to their box, so you could then troubleshoot their box remotely, which I think is cool. So that could be anything from installing new apps, or maybe configuring server URLs, or whatever it may be. You now have access to control their system remotely once they give you access to that. And down in this section here, they give you a decent selection of games as well too. So I know that one of the Avov boxes was built specifically for games. So it looks like in this one they decided to keep the fun factor and include some games there as well too. So that's just a quick overview of what it is that you'll get in the apps section. Now I'm going to go underneath my apps and show you what's there. So by default, of course, I installed Kodi to take care of whatever it is that I feel necessary in the Kodi section. But here's a familiar app that many of you guys might remember from the older versions of Avov, and that's the TVOnline app. So here they kind of included it by default and under the My Apps section, and to kind of give you guys an idea of how that works. So you got the apps section where you could, you know, find your apps, and then you have the My Apps. So once you install one of the apps, it shows up in the My Apps section. So TVOnline is compatible with the Stalker middleware platform. So if anybody has IPTV services with Stalker and they don't quite have Nova set up just yet, they could obviously revert back to the TVOnline section and watch their IPTV services through TVOnline, which is powered by the Stalker middleware. So I think that's a pretty cool feature, allowing it to become somewhat backwards compatible, that Avov decided to include. So I do find that feature to be quite handy. Now let's bounce out of that right now. So let's take a look at the areas that I know that many of you guys are probably waiting for, and that's the movie and live TV section. So we're going to first explore the movie section and then take a look at the live TV section. So keep in mind that Nova 2 is just a middleware. So if you're looking for IPTV services, you're going to have to find somebody that has servers configured for the Nova 2 middleware. So in our case, we were fortunate enough to have access to that. So I'm going to show you some of the movies that are available here and just kind of how that loads up and functions. So let's take a look at that. We've got a bunch of different categories, and keep in mind that this is a very new server. So as far as the movie categories and movie selection goes, it's not a massive amount. I think here you probably have maybe about 400 or 500 movies loaded, where some of the more popular and prominent servers have you know, thousands of movies loaded in there. So this demonstration is just to kind of show you what the interface looks like, how that loads up, and what to expect from a Nova 2 type server when it comes to loading movies and functions and features and things like that. So let's take a look here. Right, in this particular server we got the action category, adventure, animation, comedy, crime, drama. They did a pretty good job at categorizing these. But let's take a look at one of the action movies. Let's take a look at Age of Ultron. Right, I really love how it is that they laid the screen out. It's a lot better than I think how it is that Stalker has it, and it's using more of the Google style of layout, which I really enjoy. So let's take a look at that Age of Ultron. And again, a very Google-like interface here, similar to the YouTube app that that Google has with their Android platform. Now, if you notice, things took a little while to load up. Now, I know that some people have been complaining, saying that the movies don't load up, but my suggestion is giving it maybe about, you know, 10 to 15 seconds for things to fully kick in. Or if you're on a Wi-Fi connection, which sometimes happens to be a little bit slower than if you're wired in, I suggest for sure waiting for about up to 30 seconds. Now, the reason why we have to wait that long, my assumption is because they're probably preloading the movie ahead of time, so it gets rid of all the lag and the slowdowns. But I feel like Avov could really do a much better job at getting the movies to load a bit faster. Otherwise, some people may think that either the movie doesn't exist, or they may just close out of it and just get another box that loads faster. So I'm just gonna fast forward here a little bit so you guys could see a little bit more of the quality of the movie. All right, and that's pretty much it. Let's bounce back out and take a look at the live TV section. All right, so, and again, I love how it is that they've laid out this particular live TV as opposed to some of the older versions of that you might see from Stalker. So this is, you know, very bright, very clear. It's very straightforward. If I want to get Fox, I just click on Fox. I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to find the specific channel number. But let's explore that for a little bit. Let's take a look at what it is that they have here. If you notice, underneath each channel, they actually have the channel number. So ABC West is number 2, Fox HD is number 3, Fox West is number 4, and you could actually punch in to your remote control the actual channel number, and we'll be bounced directly to that channel. So let's take, for example, we're on CNN here. Show you how that loads up, and we want, let's say, channel 19, which, if I'm not mistaken, is CP24. We notice that it actually changes the channel. Now, another cool feature is, especially with the remote that it is that I have, it has a recall feature which will bounce the channel back to its previous channel, which I was on, which was CNN. So I think that's a pretty cool feature as well too. I'm not sure of any other IPTV service that currently has that feature there. And they also have this cool quick search channel selection feature as well too, so you could kind of bounce back and forth between channels instead of going back to the main channel selection menu to choose your channel. So for example, let's say I want to choose BBC America, which is also channel 22. I'm able to use a quick channel selection and select that and get bounced to BBC America. It seems like for some reason this is a little bit slow. Let's try BBC World to see if that works. All right, so it bounces me directly to BBC World, and I'm able to catch that there too. So that's another cool feature that I think that this unit has over some of the other units, because I remember using Stalker and we were trying to use that feature. For some reason it just wasn't active, so I think that this feature is a good feature. Let's bounce over to maybe some kids channels. Let's take a look at Treehouse Television here in Canada. This is a pretty big kids channel. Right, so it loads up quite well. It goes from channel to channel quite smoothly, and the visuals are quite good. So with this particular server, you will get anywhere from standard definition all the way up to high definition, 1080p. So let me kind of show you some of what it is that we have here under South Asian. So if you're living in the Toronto area, the GTA, we know that there's you know, a large concentration of you know, the South Asian community, which I think is great because we have all these channels to cater to them through this particular server. So let's take a look at that real quick. This is ZTV HD, and this one is actually broadcasting at HD quality. I'm not sure if you guys could see that or pick it up quite well from the camera here, but this one is definitely in crisp, sharp HD quality. It plays well. It goes from channel to channel quite nicely. So for you guys that are really looking to you know, step things up a little bit with your IPTV, I definitely recommend the Avov TVOnline N. Again, it's not a perfect box, but it has many things that that just works really well, and one of them is, like I said, the new interface. I think that's really great. If you're an IPTV subscriber, it does have that team viewer option, which again I think is really great for troubleshooting, so you don't have to leave your house and you know bring your box to whoever it is that you bought it from for them to troubleshoot it. And just some of the cool apps that it has, for example, like it's got Netflix on it, it's got the games on it, you've got Hulu and Crackle, and those really just take care of a lot of your movie needs there. And overall, I mean, it's in my opinion, it's a tight unit. It is a little bit slow though when it comes to certain things, and because it's a new box, I know that they're kind of working out some of the kinks and bugs and stuff like that. So I'm not expecting it to be perfect over a period of time, though I do expect some improvements. But overall, a pretty solid box. If I was supposed to give it a rating out of 5, I'd probably give it a 3.5. And the reason for that is because I feel that their previous box, which was the Nova Edition, the Silver Edition version, is a overall better box than this current unit. But like I said, over time, I do believe that they will improve the middleware as well as they will make certain improvements on the box itself. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what it is that I have for you guys as far as how it goes when you guys load up the system, what to expect, and how it looks and things like that. So standard features like the browser is still there. Of course, LiveTV, got the guide view, got the movies, TV shows, which right now I know that they're building, but they've got quite a bit of TV shows here to start. And you know what, let me just show you that really quick, how it is that they've arranged that. I think it's pretty cool and neat how it is that they have that stuff. So let's take a look at the Big Bang Theory. Right, so they categorize it, of course, by seasons, and then once you click on a season, it loads it in the area below. And once it's got the cool background as well too. So once that pops up and loads, then we're actually able to load up the episode itself, and we're able to see how that works. All right. All right, so let's jump back again and let's take a look at the unit again directly before we wrap up. All right, so we're right back where we started, reviewing the Avov TVOnline N, which is a 4K box powered by Android 5.1. And again, because it's powered by Android doesn't necessarily mean it's an Android box. This is 100% a true IPTV box, and it's just powered by Android. And again, within the unit itself, you do get the set-top box here. We've got the remote control here. Earlier on, I spoke a little bit about how it is that I felt about the remote control. You got your HDMI cord. We've got the AAA batteries for your remote control. You got the power cord, and the box itself is pretty tight as far as its packaging, and it's overall, like I said, it's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the logo, like I mentioned earlier, but I mean, whatever, that's just personal preference there. That's a look at their old logo. I much prefer the older logo. But overall, like I said earlier, I gave it a a 3.5 out of 5. This is not the perfect IPTV box. It does have some quirks like I spoke about a little bit earlier, but I think it is a solid IPTV box for you to get some of the new features going, as well as a real good way to have you be introduced to the Nova 2 platform developed by Avov. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or any other inputs that it is that you guys want to throw at me, leave those comments in the comment section below, and we'll go ahead and discuss it. If you guys are interested in purchasing one of these boxes, I've got the links to that in the description box below, as well as if you guys are looking for a server connection to get your LiveTV services, you could also see the links in the description box below as well too, to give you a couple good options for you guys to be able to try out either this box with Stalker or with the new Avov Nova 2 middleware platform, which I think is so much better than Stalker. There aren't a lot of servers for it as of yet, but I assume that with time many individuals will be transferring their services over to Nova and really supporting this platform, because it just has so many great features as a middleware itself. So I'll probably make a video in the future going over some of the cool features about the middleware, but like I said, this box here, the Avov TVOnline N, does a really good job at introducing people to Nova 2, as well as it's a nice neat little box to just really get you know, some of the get a feel for what Avov is really trying to do, and see how it is that they're trying to push the industry forward to give customers more of what it is that they want. So so that's pretty much it. Give this box a 3.5 out of 5, and that again was the review of the Avov TVOnline N. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.